Hello, I'm Jenna Johnson, and this is COVID-19 News. The holidays are upon us, and the CDC has encouraged people to try to avoid large gatherings this Thanksgiving. But for some, getting together with the entire family is too important. The problem is, the elderly are the most at risk of dying from COVID-19, and it's possible that you're going to wipe out all the geriatrics of your family if you get together. So eat up while you can, Grandma. Everyone else, prepare yourself for a few open spots at the adult table, because next year, some of those little shits from the kids' table will be spilling their drink next to you. President Donald Trump is expected to pardon 2 turkeys this Thanksgiving, and based on Trump's history of people he's pardoned, like Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who was convicted of criminal contempt, or like Louis Scooter Libby, who was convicted of obstruction of justice, Trump will pardon turkeys that really don't deserve to be pardoned. Like this guy. Don't you get puffy on me, mister. You know what you did. Contempt, perjury, and gobbling until the wee hours of the night. Last week, we did a segment where we mocked Fox News for bringing in an anonymous witness who claimed they saw voter fraud. In our segment, the witness gave an account of absolutely nothing having to do with voter fraud and was identified at the end. You can watch last week's episode to see the skit. But, and I shit you not, Fox Business did us one better because they put on a witness who was not blackened out and gave their account of voter fraud where there was no mention of voter fraud.
Let me start with the most egregious part of what I read in your affidavit. Multiple counts of the same ballot.
So the workers are handed ballots in stacks of 50s. They are referred to as batches.
Describe the night shift chaos that you described. Food vans apparently showing up, but not with food, but with ballots, apparently.
I started at 6 a.m. and I got off at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. The next day. So I started at 6 a.m. November 3rd, got off at 6 a.m. November 4th. The city provides the workers with food for their shift. Well, they only had enough food for 1/3 of their workers.
Oh boy.
At least she's good at telling time, right? But the vans didn't bring enough food? What? Okay, wow. So in comedy, we exaggerate to make a point, right? But they're already at the point where it is comical. So where do we go from here? Well, for this, we turn to our senior comedy and real-life analyst, Brittany Rosoff. Brittany?
Thank you, Jenna. Glad to be here with you.
Ditto back, girl. Brittany, what advice can you give us?
Well, Jenna, the Trump administration is beating you at your own comedy game. So when the comedy writing alone doesn't do it, you have to resort to what's known in the comedy world as sight gags. Okay, where you don't use words, you use what's in the camera shot. Like in your next skit, maybe have a miscommunication with the location between your actors. Like one actor says, let's hold a press conference at the Four Seasons, but instead of the Four Seasons Hotel, it's actually some tiny business on the far side of town called Four Seasons Total Landscaping or something like that. And make it so over the top, like put the landscaping company between a dildo shop and a funeral parlor. No, make it a cremation center. I don't know, just be creative with it.
That happened. There's pictures and video.
Oh. Well then, you're gonna have to get like really ridiculous. Like, I don't know, okay, have the actor do something unexpected, you know. Maybe have them wipe snot all over their face at the press conference like it's normal. But make it seem classy, like they do it with their own handkerchief. You know, just play with it.
Also happened. Look.
That is true. It is somehow related to this, but I do not know whether good guys got it or bad guys got it.
We don't know who picked it up. Why are you not requesting a recount in Wisconsin where the counties that use Dominion systems?
I can only hear one person.
Well, that's just gross. Okay, let me think outside the box. Maybe the actor is about to speak at the press conference, but they're so nervous that they sweat so much that something embarrassing happens. Like, Like maybe at the press conference, their cheap hair dye starts to run. You can have somebody like squirt paint on the top of their head just out of the camera so it looks real. And the funny part is nobody says anything about it. They just let it happen and they're left with little long skinny sideburns on both sides of their face. Losers.
That too. That happened.
Oh my God.
Watch.
I don't know what you need to wake you up.
He was sweating so much, his hair dye was running down his face. It was especially obvious when he turned to one side.
Wow. Okay, has anything not happened? They're good. Okay, here goes. Ooh, shit jokes. Everybody loves shit jokes. Have the actor shit himself. That hasn't happened yet, right?
Not that I know of. No.
Good. I almost shit myself. Okay. Yeah, have the actor shit their pants. Ooh, better yet, have the actor, like, have diarrhea, and he needs to put a tampon in his ass to stop it.
Wow. Not only is that disgusting, it's probably going to happen now that you've said it.
Well then, you heard it here first, folks. Rudy Giuliani put a tampon in his ass to stop him from shitting his pants.
I never thought I'd hear that sentence on the show.
Desperate times do call for desperate measures, Jenna.
Joe Biden hasn't taken office yet, but already he is getting pressure from his own party. AOC and the rest of the squad held a protest outside the DNC in order to push the incoming Biden administration to adhere to the Green New Deal and called the rally, Biden Be Brave. Don't you mean be best? Said Melania Trump. And finally it happened. The Rona finally caught Donald Trump Jr. Yes, Donald Trump Jr. contracted COVID-19 and herpes, but that's just gossip, and this isn't about that. If the coronavirus were a movie, it would be called The Curse of La Llorona. It's really bad, goes on for way too long. You may not have seen it, but you know someone who has. But instead of La Llorona taking your children, it wants to take grandma and grandpa. Also, La Llorona is real and has claimed, according to the World Health Organization, in the U.S. alone, over 11.4 million cases and over 248,000 deaths. Globally, La Llorona has claimed over 56.6 million cases and over 1,355,000 deaths. She has been busy, apparently, and there's a sequel in the works. So unless we all get our act together, plan on making a cameo at some point in the spin-off miniseries. And do not expect craft services to be all that, because the La Llorona production, from what I hear...
Well, they only had enough food for 1/3.
I'm Jenna Johnson, and this is COVID-19 News. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays.